Have you ever wondered how a design comes together? Well, stick with me for a minute here for my new video series Walkthrough Wednesday. I'm going to walk you through this first project, show you guys how we go start to finish and sort of what the design process is. I know I'm going to try to keep it short. Everybody's got a short attention span. Try to make it quick. So without further ado, I'm going to get rid of my face and I'm going to jump right into it. So every job, we generally start off by taking measurements with something like the MoAssure, or I use Smart Level, or some other product, whatever it is. We use MoAssure and I use Smart Level, depending on the job, whatever. This is, for this particular job, you can see over here on the left-hand side, that's the property that we're going to be working on. On the right-hand side, that's the house. We took those images, we dropped that stuff into our UVision program, and that's how we ended up with our initial concept design. That's this little guy here. You can see we got all kinds of little design elements all over the place. Here's the perspective of this. This is what this actually became. So this was very, very, very early in the design process. Roughly what we did is we just wanted to take the yard. We wanted to cover it in pavers. We wanted to do a couple small design elements. None of this stuff ended up in the final thing. This was more used for estimating to give us an idea of what we want to do here. The original design called for like a stand-up area over here. We were going to do something. Walkway was going to come in through here. None of that ended up in the final design, and I'll show you here in a second. Yeah. Save that, yes. All these different concepts came through this job. So we did so many different edits before we finally landed on the thing. And this is the important part when we're doing a design. We got to make sure that the client loves it. We got to make sure that we want to install it. And we've got to go through that process of finding exactly what we want to do to tweak it. So we'll show off the tiered concept. This was one of the one of the early designs. Load. So you can see the backyard started coming together. This was after a few edits, of course. Walkway was in. We had this tiered concept coming up here. We originally had a barbecue feature coming out there as well. Again, many edits before we came to the final product. And you can see a little bit closer, water feature over here. We had a water feature over there. And again, that was just the early concept. But again, we want the client to have it, so we keep playing with it, we keep tweaking with it. And we build it like this before it ends up on your property. That way we can sort of really get an idea of how it looks. And let's just cut over to the final design. 2022 final. Bear with me. This is how it ended up being. Couple things didn't make the cut, of course, in the long run. The water feature did go in. The two maples became two small planting beds. This is all lit up nice, too. You gotta shout out D3 Lighting, who provided us with all the lighting on this particular job. And that's how she ended up. A couple things to take note of, too, is like when we did the design, again, we went through many renditions before we finally landed on the final concept and before we actually ended up building anything. And one of those big things was also how we set up the privacy screening here, because we wanted to see how it looked from inside the house. So the idea is we were trying to cover some of the lighting that was going on with the neighbor's property as well too. So again, a big part of the design was how did it look when you were sitting inside. And that's pretty much it. That's the design process. Again, we build everything, we model everything. We build it up, we sit down with the client, we go over everything that they want to do, don't want to do, must-have features, and then we start throwing stuff at them. We start throwing our design in there. And from there we go into that, and that's how she works. And then let's see if I can find some of the... So the seating area here, as you can see, the original one really had it, it just didn't look right, so they ended up with planting all around it. The final image is roughly that. That's how that ended up being. See the water feature there in the back. All this is planted in now, so this just turned out gorgeous. And if you want to see how it looked like at night, that's how she looked at night. Little inlay in there, some glow. The pictures really don't do this any justice, but you get an idea. This is how the concept from the design and how we went from all of this, or I should say, let me open up one of those old basic designs. Loading. Oh, wrong one. That's how we went from the basic design here. So we went from this, and again, we took that and we went back to and we ended up with this. which just ended up being a fantastic job. And if you look at the Instagram, you'll see we did all kinds of video shoots while we were doing this as well. So you can see the progress shots of all that, how we did the base and all that kind of stuff, and ran the wires and all that funky stuff. That's about it. That's how we design it. And then if you're wondering what we do in the off season, there's a little teaser for you guys that I imagine to hang out for the whole video. You can see here's all the different things we've done, and then here's my little testing ground. Here's a little tease. If Andrew's watching, you're gonna love this, buddy. We've got this really cool fire pit coming up. Oh, that's not it though. I'll have to edit, cut that out, I guess. Nope, let's see that. 2025 testing ground. Here we go. So here's some design elements for a project we got coming up here in the near future. You can see we're doing something really funky with this fire pit. We got this little corner pergola coming up. There's a little bit of inspiration for the design. And we'll see how it goes. We're still playing with this. So like I said, off season, we tweak it out a little bit. We'll see how this materializes in the future. And I guess that's about it. That's how we do it. That's how we get started. That's very, very, very simplified. Try to keep the videos short, but that's how we do it. So if you're looking for projects in the future and you want to work with us, that's how it's done. Anyways, take care and happy hardscaping.